I'm not a lawyer, but Susan Lorincz has just been found guilty of manslaughter for the death of her neighbor, AJ Owens. Here's the clip.
Verdict as to count one. We, the jury, find as to count one of the charge. The defendant is guilty of manslaughter. Did the state prove beyond a reasonable doubt that during the commission of the offense, the defendant personally used a firearm? Yes. So say we all, dated the 16th day of August, 2024.
Madam Clerk, please poll the jurors by number only.
Juror number 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 2, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 3, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you can go back to the jury room. Ms. Lawrence, the jury has found you guilty of manslaughter with a firearm. You're going to be adjudicated guilty of that offense. I assume that sentencing will be at a later date. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
Are you requesting a pre-sentence investigation?
Yes, sir.
What I'm going to do is have the Department of Corrections prepare a pre-sentence investigation. I'll continue this case. I'll put it all the way to the November docket, although I expect us to be sentenced long before that.
Pre-sentence investigation is basically a report that's going to be provided to the judge that contains background information about the defendant, which can be used to aid in his decision for her sentence. The trial only lasted 4 days, but here are some clips to give you context as to how it went. The first clip is from the opening statement of Susan's defense team. Now, her team was claiming self-defense and that she was in fear of her life, and in using that defense, in their opening statements, they highlight some of Susan's ailments.
June of 2023, she was almost 59 years old, 58, almost 59 years old, but her body was much older than a 59-year-old. She suffered from many medical infirmities. You will hear that she had issues with her knee that caused countless surgeries that involved damaged tendons and ligaments in her right knee, and a partial knee replacement in the left knee. Her right knee literally goes backwards because of all the damage to it. She had a car accident in 2019 that required invasive spine surgery, and she has diminished feeling in her legs and feet as a result of that spinal cord injury. You will hear that in 2021 she had a cervical fusion because of that car accident in 2019. She also had an aneurysm on her kidney. She had a torn muscle in her left shoulder and torn rotator cuff in 5 places. You will hear that she also had a herniated thoracic disc and carpal tunnel in both hands, and had surgery on her left hand because of it in 2022. You'll also hear that she is a survivor of ovarian cancer, and she's in remission. Needless to say, with all this physical ailments, though 59 years old, almost 59 years old in June of 2023, inherently, she was significant.
Now, the first few witnesses called to the stand were people from the neighborhood. The first was a father in the neighborhood who was outside playing with the kids in the field next to Susan's house that day. And following him, his son got on the stand to testify about what he saw.
I want to take you to June 2nd, the day of the shooting. Were you playing with the kids in that open field that day?
I was, yes, sir.
While the children were playing in that open field, did there come a time that the defendant came out and began to record you and the children?
Yes, sir.
Did Israel have a tablet with him?
Or either a tablet or a phone, something. He had something. I was playing with the kids, and whenever he approached me, because I was in the middle trying to guide, I had him all divided in 2 teams. So he said, I was literally paying attention to the both team, and then Israel asked me if I can watch his phone or tablet. And I'm like, I cannot, because I'm paying attention to everyone else. I'm calling down numbers. And he's like, I'm just going to place it here. I'm going to leave it here. I'm like, you got to be responsible for your own things. I was right at the middle of the field. And then he just left it there. I just kept playing with the kids. And right in the middle of the open field, yes, sir, where I was standing. Once we got done playing and everything, and I got tired, because I behaved like a kid, but I don't have the energies. I went back to my apartment. It was about to get dark, yes, sir. I started playing on my phone, being on Facebook. I heard like a firecracker, which in my military experience, I thought it was a firecracker because it wasn't that loud. It sounded weird, but then I'm like, nah, it can be a shot. It's gonna be a firecracker. I didn't do anything. I just went back to my phone, and then I heard banging on my door. I open it up. I see my son. panicking, screaming, and literally just panicking. He couldn't talk. He said she got shot. She shot her. I try to calm him down to try to gather more information. If someone got shot, I mean, military experience, I'm like, well, I need to hurry up to see if I can help someone. I went outside. I went towards, it's what we as a law enforcement and everything, we have stimulus. I went where the noise was. So I went towards the noise, right at the corner where near the basketball hoop was at, right at the corner, and I heard everyone screaming and the kids crying, Isaac, and my mom. I immediately keeping an eye on Miss Susan's apartment just in case. I mean, you never know. I'm just situation awareness. I started scanning for open wounds, and because I heard she got shot, so I was just scanning for open wounds to try to help her out.
How old are you?
I'm 13.
Do you ever remember seeing Isaac and Izzy's mom walking over to the lady who shot her's house?
Yes. I was at the basketball hoop. She looked mad. I remember her cursing.
Did you see Isaac and Izzy's mom go up to the lady who shot her's door?
Yes. I was beside my house when it happened.
Were you in that general area when you saw Isaac and Izzy's mom at the door?
Yes. I remember her banging on the door. She was banging in a mad type of bang. I remember her saying, "Open up this door." She was saying the B word and the F word.
Did you ever see Isaac and Izzy's mom reach for the door handle?
No.
Did you ever hear Isaac and Izzy's mom say, "I'm going to kill you"?
No. After she banged on the door, I remember hearing a gunshot. I saw Isaac's mom run and yelling, "Call 911." I went to my dad. I ran to my dad, actually.
Now, as I said, Susan was claiming self-defense, and in doing so, her team really emphasized how angry and loud and scary AJ's banging on the door was when she came to Susan's house. So in Cross, they asked a lot of the neighbors about this.
AJ was really mad, wasn't she?
Yes.
She seemed really angry, right?
Yes.
And then after that, you started banging on Miss Susan's regular door, right?
Yes.
And it was like bang, 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 hard, right? And she was doing it with her fist, right?
Yes.
She was screaming, right?
Yes. Yes.
And you refer to that neighborhood as the hood?
Yes.
The landlord's rent to some unsavory people?
Yes.
Now, the banging was so hard it was shaking the walls in your house, right?
Yes.
And you were scared.
Oh, yes.
And while this banging was happening, you heard voices, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the voices were loud.
Very loud.
The voices were aggressive.
Yes.
The voice sounded like when someone gets really mad and really wants to scream, right?
Yes.
And it sounded like it was coming from outside, right?
Yes.
You were talking about a prior instance that you saw where Ajike threw a sign.
Yes.
Ajike had walked onto Susan's property and picked that sign up,
Yes.
and the sign hit Susan on the shin,
Yes.
and then Susan fell to the ground,
Yes.
and the police came out and talked to them.
Yes.
Another interesting witness that testified was the landlord of the units that Susan and AJ lived in. And as a reminder, one of Susan's major complaints was that the kids were always in the field next to her house. They were trespassing, they were loud, and they were antagonizing her. But here's what the landlord had to say about that open field next to Susan's house.
There's an open field to the right of that quadplex if you're facing it, am I correct?
Yes.
Do you own that property next to this quadplex?
The majority of the property is owned towards the upper quadplex.
Okay, so the majority of that open field is owned by the other quadplex owner?
Correct.
And that's not you?
No.
Understood. Do you have any property rights to that larger portion of the open field and other quadplex to the right?
No, I do not.
Are you able to tell anybody that they can't go on that property?
I cannot.
Are you aware that there are children that sometimes play in that open field?
Yes.
Have you ever personally told any of those children they weren't allowed to do that?
I have not.
And why wouldn't you be able to do that?
It's not my property.
Okay.
So when police confiscated Susan's phone, they discovered that there were some videos from the day of the incident in there. Now, they are very short videos, but it is what led up to the event, and it's what she recorded from her phone.
Is there a photo take or a video at 7:58 and 59 seconds? PM.
There is.
Did you locate a photo at 8:33 and 34 seconds PM?
We did.
Did you locate a video at 8:33 and 59 seconds PM?
We did.
What about a photo at 8:34 and 57 seconds PM? A video, excuse me.
We did.
Now, lastly, I want to show you a video of a mock-up from an expert that the defense team called. It was played in court, and I'm only showing you because I found it interesting.
It is a 3D visualization that was created for this incident.
So after all of that and more, Susan Lorincz was found guilty of manslaughter today. We'll wait to see what her sentencing is.